Hello, my name is Leonid, and right now I'm in Colombia. Today we'll be exploring the favelas, the dangerous neighborhoods of two major cities, Medellín and Bogotá. We'll try to understand how they live, how they are changing, and how Pablo Escobar influenced all of this. We'll meet criminals and gang members. In general, we'll investigate whether Colombia is as criminal and bad as it's commonly depicted, and what the reasons behind it all are. Well, let's start with Medellín. To make everything as authentic as possible, my guide in this city will be a person who served jail time in a Colombian prison. I tried to fly out of Medellín, and a police dog named Argus really liked the scent of my luggage. Thanks to the leniency of Colombian laws and the fact that the police officers simply stole 10 ounces during the weighing, I only spent 1 year and 8 days in Colombian prison. It was, so to speak, some kind of educational and rehabilitation institution for criminals. Everyone smoked whatever they wanted. You could even buy beer or whiskey. There was no work at all, everyone dressed fashionably, and on Sunday, girls visited us. I chose Andrey not just by chance. He'll help us explore rough neighborhoods because, in my opinion, Andrey is the best person to introduce us to the local criminal reality. In Latin cities, the downtown area is the craziest place, with lots of homeless people, prostitution, all happening here. Then the mayor said, "Guys, it's downtown Plaza Botero. Foreign tourists come here. Why are we showing such nonsense here?" They put up this fence to keep out all of the unwanted people. But what about love hotels? They are located here, so some girls who work there are inside. And one can't kick them out because this is their workplace.
No, I'm from Bogotá.
Bogotá, rola.
Cool.
So what work you do?
Well, at this moment, okay. Sometimes I am teaching in English. Sometimes I go to the poblado party for the fucking bitches get people like you know, listen to me.
Because they can speak English.
Just
You
go,
are
no.
translating.
Okay, of course.
A guy just gets his eyebrow pierced right on the street. Amazing. Now I'll show you another interesting detail. These are special little spoons for snorting different powders. And this is not some tourist thing. There are no tourists here in Bogotá, at least not many of them. Here, there are mostly the local Colombians and some people from other Colombian cities. And here is this thing. Here, we are in a place that can only be called a warehouse of unnecessary and stolen things. Literally, I think there are things taken from the trash here, or stolen from careless guys like me.
What a look. I can see you are a foreigner. How do I tell him that I like his eyes? He has such nice eyes. You understand, right?
She fell in love with the color of your eyes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, dear.
So, poor local Colombians have a tradition. The poorer a person is, the more jeans they should have. See, this is the middle class, so only 5 pairs are hanging. Actually, they wear jeans only once and then already wash them. If you wash a single pair of jeans every day, you get tired. That's why they have 5 pairs, so you have a supply for 5 days. Let me show you this. Well, jeans. You can buy everything here, so here they are. The jeans cost, the man says, 10,000 pesos. That's $2.50. Friend, what are the prices? It depends what you want. I sell different things, all kinds of stuff. And how much is weed? I don't know, you'll have to ask the others. This guy is shy, but overall, here you can buy a big, juicy joint for $1. In general, it's a country of pleasures, selfishness and luxury, I would say. Now I see that if they steal my camera, sooner or later in this city, I'll know where to look to ransom it. Definitely somewhere around here. Those guys with rags are parking attendants, but they're all homeless. We call them habitantes de la calle, street inhabitants. How do they earn money? They signal with their rags, showing that there is a free parking space. They are useful too because they do keep an eye on things. No one will remove your mirrors or do anything bad. So they show you where to park, and in return, people give them coins and donations. That's how they survive. If you want to know how people live in other countries and see more of my travels, subscribe to this channel. The more subscribers, the more amazing places I can show you. In Medellín, they try to use new technologies, and for garbage collection, they came up with these trendy trash cans. The top part is only the visible part. There is a large bunker below, where garbage accumulates, and sometimes the homeless who are involved in recycling dive in there for aluminium cans, for example. They dive right into this bunker, then knock for someone to open it from the outside because you can't open it from the inside. Then they come out with their aluminium catch. As you can hear, the music in Colombia is fantastic, mostly reggaeton and local Latin rap. It's so cool. But what's even cooler is how they sell this music here. In every package, there's a flash drive, a micro SD already inserted into an adapter, and the music is on this flash drive. It's amazing. I stocked up on great soundtracks for you to listen to. We are in Medellín, in the neighborhood officially called Barrio Pablo Escobar. When Pablo was alive and aspiring to political power, he built 3,000 houses for the poor. These were tiny houses, as is common in favelas. But with electricity, running water and sewerage, guys, these people used to live in the garbage.
I have been living here for 32 years.
Here in this very place.
In this very place, yes.
Andrey, para allá.
Wow, that's very interesting. Despite the Colombian government's strong desire to forget the whole mafia story, poor people living in favelas still idolize this guy. They even built an altar themselves. They built it and now they maintain it themselves. There are other graffiti here, but one way or another, it's always the face of the great Pablo Escobar.
Pablo's mother gave me a piece of land and I built a house on it.
So you're personally acquainted with Pablo's mother?
Yes, I know Dona Hermilda.
They sent a delegation from this neighborhood to Pablo himself. Well, to ask for something. To be honest, they went to him for help, because people knew that he could help. And when people really had a desperate situation, needed expensive surgery for example, they went to Pablo. To whom else? And yes, even his mother was involved in a lot of charity work.
Do you know the Monte Sacro Cemetery?
Yes, I know that place well.
I was there with him that day.
When Pablo was buried?
Yes.
She says she was at the Monte Sacro Cemetery on the day of Pablo's funeral. So she attended his funeral. What was that day like?
There was a lot of people. There were mariachis, a very beautiful mass. The mass was very beautiful.
I heard somewhere that there were 3,000 people there.
Much more.
The local traditions have turned the cemetery into a tourist attraction, thanks to Pablo. Here are the graves of Escobar himself and his family. And naturally, early in the morning, there is already a crowd of visitors. Again, not foreigners, but Colombians come. Everyone takes pictures, listens to stories from guides. That's the local cemetery tourism. How many years have you been working for the Escobar family? Quite a long time. For example, I worked with Don Pablo's sister for some time, and then I started conducting tours to the graves, to all that are here. I'm also a friend of Don Roberto, Pablo Escobar's brother, the money tourists give me and what I earn here. I work every day from 9 to noon, and you can find me everywhere on the internet as the Escobar Graves worker. I'm very grateful to the Escobar family for this, because thanks to them, I have a job here. I earn a living, and I'm successful with tourists. Yes, the guys here do some crazy things, and sometimes they become famous. For example, a not very well-known rapper came. And here's what he did. He sprinkled white powder on the graves and snorted it right from the grave. So all these houses that we see now, were they built back then? I mean, no, these are all recent constructions. This was built after Pablo's death. What we see here is from the late 90s. So he directly built houses, like his people built them, or did he just give money? No, of course, he just gave money, bought land, took all of this. Oh wow, what a beautiful rooster.
Hi.
Is she cooking here? Do you have electricity and water?
Of course, there is also sewage here.
And gas too?
Yes, there is gas too, but a lot of it burns. So I'll go to the management company to have them deal with it.
Do you like living here?
Yes, it's great.
Is the neighborhood changing with all these paintings, decorations, murals? Now it's very beautiful. Why don't the local authorities help people inside their homes? Why only outside?
Well, that's the question, the right one. I'm completely abandoned here. Why is that? Moreover, the mother of these children has special needs. She is deaf-mute, and we need help from the authorities. But they only paint houses here. They do have money, after all.
So all this help doesn't bring any results?
Nothing.
Do tourists come here?
Yes, they come, but it doesn't help at all. They come, take photos, and that's it.
So what, people cried, people... Excuse me. Where are you from? He's a blogger from Belarus. Filming is not allowed in our neighborhood. We have an organization here. I work with tourists. Do you know Carlos? He's a former policeman, also a guide. We don't like that such videos are recorded here. Why? Because the content you upload affects mental health. We here love and appreciate Escobar a lot. What is the danger when locals say, guys, don't film anything here in our area? This is, fairly speaking, a common thing in favelas. Some don't want to show poverty, others don't want to talk about Pablo Escobar. Now they will be watching us to make sure we don't film anything. They might even take our camera or something like that, so any person on a motorcycle is from their gang. Okay, it's time to leave because apparently we won't be able to shoot anything here anymore. But you get the point. You see what this area generally looks like, and where the favelas of Medellín began. Now I'm not in a very good neighborhood in Bogotá, with a very beautiful name, Egypt. So many years ago, there was a war between gangs in this area on a small piece of land. This war didn't end. Of course, although now there's something like a truce here. Anyway, two women, Carmen and Beliana, met me, and they used to be part of one of the local gangs. Then, one of the gangsters, who came out of prison with an interesting nickname, Pumpkin, came up with a brilliant idea. One could make big money by conducting in tours in one's criminal neighborhood. So these two women became the guides, One is his sister, and the other is his wife. And I came for them to give me a tour, tell me about their criminal life. But don't rush to any conclusions, because this story will have a very, very unexpected twist.
We grew up having a clear future, to become criminals, drug addicts, die in prison, and end up in the cemetery. We couldn't leave our neighborhood for many years because we could be shot at any moment. We couldn't go to the soccer field because older guys could attack. My daughter was 14 and I was pregnant. She ran in tears, screaming, and took the children off the field because they started shooting there. In childhood, it was cool to walk with our company, with our friends, but now almost all of them are dead.
I've been living in this neighborhood for 38 years. From the age of 15, I started to change already and do bad things. Let's give the floor to the owner of the neighborhood. God bless you. All the best. Keep doing. This is a very good neighborhood. And what crimes did you commit? Theft, took from people what belongs to them. I don't do that anymore.
Someone always stood on the corner and gave me signals. If they raised their hand like this, it meant money. Who was the money for? Us? Foreigners, students, non-locals who could be robbed.
And when these people came, what happened? You robbed them?
Yes, the guys upstairs saw this sign and knew that it was time to rob someone. That's how we used to live.
And how did they rob?
Mostly with knives, but there were weapons as well.
Do you have relatives or friends who are no longer alive? Of course, over the years of living here, I saw how my friends, brothers, comrades died, all because of the war, because of what happened before. The quieter we were, the more likely they would come for us. The idea was to improve the situation, but it resulted in deaths and violence in our territories.
And this sign meant the police. The police didn't enter here before because we had clashes with them. They killed our people and our people killed the police. It was war. This house suffered the most during shootouts between the police and enemy gangs. It bears bullet marks everywhere. There used to be a heart painting here, next to which were the names of guys who died because of this war and violence. But then the police started coming and crossing out the names of those who were on the wall from their lists. Like, okay, this one is already dead, so they kept track of how many of us were alive and how many were dead. And this is very offensive to us. Our Lady of Guadalupe protects those who are in gangs and suffer from violence in the neighborhood. So here we bid farewell to everyone who died with gunfire, alcohol, and music. This is a very important place for us. A place to say goodbye to our loved ones. This is Pumpkin's house. This is our dictionary. My husband created it. It's a dictionary of the local gang slang. With this project, my husband took second place. Out of 120 projects for transforming disadvantaged neighborhoods in Latin America, Brazil took the first place, but they have been working on this for many years.
So the guy got out of prison and realized that he could earn money, not only from tourists, but also by receiving grants from various foreign organizations. Because it's so amazing to transform the society in a disadvantaged neighborhood. When I contacted them, I wanted Pumpkin, the creator of this tour, to guide me. But they told me that Pumpkin would only be available at the end of August, in 2 months. If only you knew why.
One day, the police just came and took him. He stood up, put out his cigarette, and followed them because he didn't do anything. For 2.5 years, we've been trying to prove that he's innocent of what he's accused of. The thing is, 2 guys were killed at the border with the neighboring area, and the easiest way was to blame Pumpkin. But we will continue to fight for his freedom, for him to be home with his family and children. We will continue to fight for his project to prove to the whole world that he is innocent.
Did any social transformation really happen, as these women enthusiastically tell us? And all the money earned from these tours goes to Pumpkin's lawyers and to Pumpkin himself to make sure he has a good, warm and cozy time in prison. The son of one of them, essentially a teenager, is currently in prison, like Pumpkin himself, the founder of this whole story. So, you be the judge.
Here he is in prison with his cellmates. This is Pumpkin.
Is this recent?
Yes. She's a woman who, despite all problems, never gives up and will never leave him. In the criminal world, such women are highly valued. Those who are always there and keep waiting. You can count on us by the fingers on one hand. We wait for men from prisons, love them and take care of them. And this is our struggle, the women who live with criminals. We need to learn to live with this. Learn to be mothers, women, sisters of gang members, amid all this violence.
Actually, we keep saying favelas in this video, but that's the wrong word because favelas are in Brazil. Here it is called barrio, but barrio is essentially just a neighborhood. It's translated as neighborhood. So just to make it clearer for you, how a less privileged area differs from an ordinary barrio, we say favelas, even if it's incorrect. People flocked to the city to make money. And of course, there weren't enough houses for everyone. People began seizing territories, squatting, and building something similar to houses from construction waste. That's how favelas emerged. Then the local government came up with a project. If a person lived in such a place that they built themselves for 10 years, they could supply the documents and be granted property rights. Since then, this land has become registered and essential things appear in favelas: electricity, water supply, sewage. A good example is those guys up there. Absolutely, although we are standing, you could say, in the center of civilization. But the people in a just 15-minute walk up there have nothing at all.
Bienvenido a Medellín, bienvenido a Medellín, Esto es improvisación con la mejor energía. Mira que él me graba con la tecnología, pero felicita al de la barbería, ya que te hace el corte con categoría. Excelente, es fabuloso, hey, debería sentirse orgulloso. Dios le dio la vida y los ojos fabulosos. Hasta me hizo recordar un actor famoso, Aupa Walker en el Rápido y Furioso. Excelente, yo lo brillo, vestido de gris y amarillo. Se ve sencillo, pero no necesita de oro para demostrar su brillo, porque él es el rey de su propio castillo. Espero que sí, y no hay crisis, y yo veo fácil lo que...
This neighborhood is known as Commune 13 because Medellín is geographically divided into communes and numbers. Why did this become the safest neighborhood in the city? Tourists are people who bring money. Local mafia bosses told all local guys that even if one iPhone of a tourist disappeared, they would wipe out their entire family. People realized that they could earn more money by legal means and still have fun. You are hospitable, and it brings in money. We have now arrived in Commune 13, commune number 13. This neighborhood in Medellín is a stunning example of how a very criminal neighborhood can become the most visited place in the city. The administration of Medellín and the Medellín metro system came up with a transportation experiment because our society is located in the mountains, making it very challenging to organize public transportation. Some believe that escalators were installed to attract tourists, but nobody even dreamt about it. The escalators were purely a transportation experiment. Then they started building this road. It didn't exist before. Concrete surfaces appeared and the local guys decided to decorate them a bit. They painted here and there. Someone brought their first tourists and it all started. Bogotá is a city with an incredible vibrant character. It's amazing that this city is entirely covered with street art. It's like an art gallery. Today I'm meeting with Jose, who calls himself a graffiti critic. He knows everything about local street art. Jose will give me a tour of the local iconic graffiti spots in the city to explain why street art here is literally a textbook of modern Colombian history. The government measured the army's effectiveness in blood, liters of blood. In the army, they received money, bonuses, and vacations. Due to this, criminal groups started to appear in the army.
Entonces en el ejército empiezan a aparecer
These people found guys in poor neighborhoods of Colombia,
gente, encontraba muchachos,
offered them work, took them to war zones, dressed them as partisans, killed them, and presented them as combat losses and their success. This mural portrays Don Raúl. His son served in one of the battalions that carried out such things. One day, his son calls him and says, "Father, something is wrong here. I didn't sign up for this." 3 days later, he disappeared and was later found dead,
y vuelve a aparecer asesinado seguramente por
presumably killed by his comrades. Don Raúl takes his son's body and brings it here to the city center, thus asking the president what is happening and who is to blame.
exigiéndole al presidente qué pasó aquí.
So in Colombia, graffiti appears because the streets speak.
La mayoría de veces que uno ve un graffiti es porque
It's like the voice of people who don't have the right to speak.
el graffiti es la voz de la gente que no tiene voz.
What was in the 13th Commune? It was a favela with several terrorists controlling the flow of weapons and illegal substances. In 2002, there was a notorious case when an 11-year-old, not even a teenager, but a child, killed a police officer with a firearm. They brought in 3,000 people, armored vehicles, and helicopters. Guys, just look at these houses. With the caliber that a machine gun shoots, they are all like cardboard. Bodies were taken away by trucks, like that. Okay, everyone, welcome to reality. Notice just 10 meters from us, there is the most visited street, where all the tourist money and cash flow happens. So guys, that's how life looks like in the barrio, as we call it here. Or a more familiar word, favelas. Although we don't use that term in Colombia. Wow, there's a bar there. Now we'll be going past a grocery store, and it's very convenient for elderly people because it's really hard for them to climb such heights. Look at where the main street is, from which we just climbed, right? It's like we climbed 12 floors on foot. Why? When you can go to a store right on your floor and buy everything. That's how it works. What do they sell? What do they sell? Chips? Cats? No, you can only look at the cats. Well guys, I'm shocked. 2 weeks ago, there was no hint of any bar here. We're in some slums, and they've already opened a bar there. Good for them, really.
So you came from Australia, like specifically to like make art?
Just to see the country, but making art is what I love to do.
So you do that like in Australia
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so been here 3 weeks, got another year to go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Bit more.
So is it still illegal here? Like, I mean, do you have make a deal with the local government to paint the wall? Or you just come and like choose any house?
I think in Commune 13 you have to pay for the walls.
You pay for it.
You have to pay for the paint the wall.
So why have you chosen like Commune 13? Why you decided to make your art right here?
I think Commune 13 is a place where graffiti has like evolved in a different way to the rest of the world, and everyone here is a lot more open to having graffiti on their walls, and they like to see a colourful like town where everyone lives. So
you said it evolved in a different way. So what's the difference?
like the graffiti around here compared to like graffiti in like other places. I think around here people enjoy the vibrancy of the city and the way that graffiti makes it look. And also I think what's cool about Commune 13 is that people respect that you're expressing yourself through art, rather than just in other countries where they think you're just a vandal.
So what is it gonna be?
It's going to be a sun, and then there's going to be the rays of the sun going out up here, down here, and over there, shining everywhere.
Of course, honestly, not all people live here in such terrible conditions, in such houses. And of course, overall, if you look around, you can see that there are more normal, comfortable houses.
My dad always worked a lot and felt that we could always be together. His biggest dream is for us to live together. He said he wanted me to live here. Then my little sister started building from the top. She's a lawyer, by the way. Then Dad started building a house for another sister. For example, one column costs about $80. Dad needs to work for a whole week to buy one column. It's the most expensive because it's strong.
I'm a driver. So construction is just a hobby? I built the neighboring apartment.
Del gobierno en este barrio. Nada. Solamente pintaron las casas.
No, not at all. We just painted the houses and the sills.
I want to find a way to fulfill my dreams. Social media, the modeling business, things that inspire and amaze me. So I advise everyone to have two things in life: art and knowledge. I have two TikTok accounts because they blocked my first one. My username is LUYFER. Nice to meet you.
Escucha que tengo mi cerebro en automático. Vamos a seguir porque contigo yo platico con grático. Es que la pista yo castigo. A cada momento no es cuento, yo me la invento. Tengo frase, clase y argumento. Lo hago rápido y también lo hago lento. Es que vamos en incremento. 13 en la comuna, 13 en la comuna, 13 en la comuna. Leo llegó. En la comuna 13. Leo llegó. Leo. Hey, el mejor haciendo los videos.
So that's how life goes in disadvantaged Colombian neighborhoods. I've tried to focus not on how bad things are there, but on how the local people are trying to make things at least a little better. And it seems to me that they are succeeding, step by step, although the task is undoubtedly very challenging. So write in the comments what you think about all of this, and what your impressions are and thoughts are from what you've seen. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss new videos. This was Leonid from Colombia. Bye.